I need a better bio. I need a better bio. Whoa, Sameep. Okay, I'm gonna challenge you next. Sir, you're not, see, you know what? I'm gonna show you what's on my feet, and you're gonna stop asking. I'm wearing these clogs, okay? This is all you need to know. And if you would ask me that in person, I would turn into a Romanian babushka and I'd be like, pleacă de aici, că-ți trag una în cap dacă mai mă întrebi o dată. And then I'd hit you in the head with my shoe. So you wouldn't see feet because your vision would be blurry. Anyway, so let me send a challenge to the next person. Yeah. Wooden clogs shall be. Yeah, exactly. Babushkas. Have I ever been turned off by somebody's political views? I feel pretty strongly about my own political views, but I usually try to understand where someone's coming from. It's obviously easier if you have similar views, but I haven't had somebody say something that was so extreme that I couldn't handle that. Okay. All right, Sameep sent you a challenge. Let's see if you're here. All right, he's here. What kinds of first messages typically get my attention the most? The ones, if it's a message that I feel like could have been sent to anyone, I usually don't like that as much. But the ones that get my attention the most is if it's like somebody who we actually have a lot in common. So like, for example, like if I match with someone who went to my college and they send me a message like, oh my gosh, I remember you from like Econ 101, like we were sat there, like I saw you're cute, but I was too nervous to talk to you. Or like that's super easy because then it's somebody who you actually knew in real life and you have a connection and it's a clear opening starter. But let's say it's not somebody you met in life in any way, right? Then usually if they talk about something in common, like for example, there was one guy who I dated for a while who had also studied in China. So then he was like, oh my gosh, it's really cool that you did that. I was here for a while. And then we started talking about it. So things that are more unique to your actual bio, but that's why you actually have to put stuff in your bio because, you know, it's hard to do it otherwise. China. Yeah, exactly, David. Exactly. I watched you from afar and now I'm here. Okay, not in a creepy way. Have I ever went on a Tinder date with someone who knew me from my stream or chess career? Not recently, no. I mean, there's people who know I stream or like they'll look it up. I feel like people wouldn't tell me if they know, honestly. Alex, what did I do? Are your clogs comfortable? They're actually really comfortable. Have I ever been? No, I've been on a lot of Tinder dates. Over my life. And let's see. I mean, most of them have been positive. And most of them are like people who I continued to see for a while after. So yeah, I do use Tinder, and I mean, but the thing is, even before I was sponsored, I would talk about it on stream, so I'm not just capping. You feel like you don't know. I've talked to a lot of my friends who want to meet people, and I'm like, why don't you get on Tinder? Because they're using no dating apps right now, right? And they're usually like kind of nervous. They're like, oh, I just don't really like the small talk at the start and things like that. And that's the thing, like, come on. It's life. You don't get all the rewards with none of the work, right? If you want to meet somebody and you want to have like some romance in your life, you have to actually try. And part of putting the effort isn't the fun part. Like, I don't think like swipe, I've been swiping for whatever is the fun part. No, but when you actually finally find somebody who you click with after the work, then it's worth it. And if you haven't tried it, or if like you give up after a day or something like that, then I mean, that's on you, you know? Like with anything, you actually have to try. Real life small talk is worse. Look, real life small talk is tough. That's why I'm suggesting that if you guys do a date, Like I would suggest doing an online date first, especially with COVID. So like, let's say you match with somebody, right? Then you just like do a gaming date or something casual online, because then you have an activity. You can tell if you like each other. You don't have to focus as much on small talk, and the small talk will be done in like 10 minutes. You know, it's not, or okay, maybe a little bit longer, but it doesn't take that long. And you can also really screen people out and only have the small talk with people whose personality you actually like. Real talk. I hate small talk. I mean, nobody likes small talk. It's a necessary evil. You can't just be on like day one and be like, "When's the last time you cried?" You know, you gotta build up a little bit. So wait, I did ask that on a second date once, but I think that's just because the person was like, "Oh, I don't like small talk. I like real talk." So I tried to make a joke with a real question, but then it got kind of weird. Um, you know, my humor is an acquired taste. Um, Girls play Tinder on easy mode. Mr. Lazy, I don't disagree with you. I generally think I mean, everybody knows that it's usually a little easier to be on dating apps if you're a girl. That being said, people who use that as an excuse and they want to meet someone and they're not doing anything about it, like guys also meet a lot of girls on Tinder. Like all of my friends have met somebody at some point on Tinder. So don't use like some generalization like that as an excuse to not meet somebody. I think so. I was reading this book. It's called Outsource Self, and it's basically about it's about how everybody's outsourcing things in the 21st century. And then they're talking about dating at some point, and it was kind of more depressing for women because it's like, nowadays as you're entering 30 as a woman and you're like you haven't found someone yet, so like there's these women who hire professionals to find them somebody who they want to date with, and then what what advice they give them is like, you're a very successful woman, you've done well with your career, but you have to, this is gonna sound so unsexy, but you have to kind of treat dating like work as well. You have to take it seriously, because if you don't do that, then yeah, it's gonna be harder to find somebody you like. So I'm not saying hire a professional. No, just download Tinder and get verified. But put in some time in your profile to make it reflect your best self. Put some time in your bio. Actually swipe on people. Actually follow up, and like don't give up right away. So yeah, having that attitude leads to having very little fun in real life. I don't think so. I mean, work is fun, chat. This is the generation of workaholics. Come on, what are you talking about? I mean, like, work is, you just can't expect everything to be cake. Okay. How do I feel about double messaging? I think you have nothing to lose. I think the expected outcome of double messaging is worth it, right? Because if you don't message a woman twice on Tinder and she forgot, she probably won't reply to you. But if she was kind of interested and you're like a little bit more persevering, even if it only leads to like a reply or something 10 to 20% of the time, it's better than zero. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Botez, I put effort in and get matches, but not the matches I want. I just feel like I can't find anyone good for me. Price, I've gone through different time periods where like I felt like I put in effort and like I didn't really connect with somebody I liked. But then I kind of like come back to it, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, there's also timing, but I'm sure if like you keep trying, you'll find someone you kind of like at least. You've been dating someone you met on Tinder for 3.5 years. Your approach is very different from what I'm saying, Vindy. Well, everybody has their own approach, right? I mean, do whatever works for you. Okay, chat, if you want me to play you in chess, tweet at me at Alexandra V Botez with photos of your profile that's verified and your chess.com username. I've been playing everybody who does that so far. Let's see, Zack Attack. Let's see, who else have I not played yet? I think I've played